Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another tutorial in Unreal Engine 5 Endless Runner game series. In this tutorial, we are going to work on updating score on the UI whenever our character crosses the end of the tile or overlaps with that box collision. So you can get project files on my Patreon, and let's jump into the tutorial. So let's start our tutorial. So first of all, if you remember from our previous tutorials, that we managed to make our character running forward infinitely, and we managed to spawn tiles in front of us and delete the previous tiles. So for the optimization in this tutorial, you will notice that these are the lines here. These are the overlap boxes, which I will make hidden in the later tutorials. So right now in this tutorial, we're going to make a point scoring UI when our character cross that overlaps with that box collision. A point score will update on the UI. So let's do it. We first of all, for that we have to create, let's go into our third person folder in blueprints. Right click, we have to create a widget blueprint. Select it, widget blueprint. We can call it game, endless game. Okay, or we can see it endless runner. So it will be our endless runner widget blueprint. So let's open it. And let's close them all. Okay, bring canvas panel. You can make it. These are the different sizes you can make. So for now, 1920 1080 is fine. So bring text. And one another text. So call it T for text score, and call it and T for text score underscore var. It means it will be our variable. To make a variable, click here. So now we can change that text during the runtime, and this text will remain constant. Yes, that's perfect. Let's you can increase the size from here. Let's make it 40. Yes, that's better now. Also make it 40. So in the text, you can change color from here, text from here, and font from here if you haven't. If you want to add custom font, and the other things, if you want to make a shadow and strike brush here, and other things, other settings here. So also you can make an outline on the text by going here. Okay. Okay, so there will be a, so you can see there is an outline here. That's so there are a bunch of settings. You can tweak them on your own. Okay, so now for me it's good. So let's disable the outside. And for the anchors, give it the top right, and also give it the top right. So now we have the scoring here, and this is a variable. Now the very first thing, we need to add that UI to our viewport. For that, go into our third person character, and from here create widget and select class, that one, WP endless runner. Select it and promote to variable WP endless runner reference. That will be our widget blueprint reference, and from that, or you can take it from that, head to viewport. So if I disconnect it for now and I play the game, you will notice there is no text written here. So in order to make it work, you have to do that logic and add your current widget to your viewport. So now you notice that we have score here and 0 here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to update our score whenever we cross that overlap or we overlap with that collision box. So for that, we have to go back to our content and runner, actors, BP floor, because we are running out that floor and the collision box is there. So we have to take on begin overlap event, which we are also already using for the next tile spawn thing, which we did it in the previous videos. So just a quick recap. When our player overlaps with that collision box, we are calling event spawn next floor tile from our game mode endless runner class. And after a delay of 1 second, we are destroying our current tile on which we were running in order to optimize it. So right now we are disconnecting it. So from here, when we overlap with that collision box, we are going to update score, but in the game mode, or we can update it in game instance, or we can also update in third person character. So it's up. So we are going to update in game mode, go back to third person character, blueprints, and that was our game mode. So inside the game mode, we have to create another custom event. Call it event score update, and point score, and we will take a integer here. So now create a variable here named score, point score, again integer. So whenever this event fires up, we will add a score, we will update the current point score, and after that we are going to add ten score, and then we are going to set score, and from there we want to send that point score data in our widget blueprint. So let me make it like a sequence. So when our third person character overlaps running on the floor and it overlaps with the collision box, from there we are going to call that event, and from there we are going to call final score update UI event inside the WP endless runner. So go back to BP floor. Now we have our custom event inside the game mode. Simply, this is our game mode endless runner. From there, event updates. So now we have our custom event. Write 10 here, and I did a little mistake. Write 10 here, and after that, don't do this. Simply add there. So yes, so that's fine. So our character is running on the floor, and whenever it overlaps with that collision box, 10-point score will go in there, and it will be added to our point score, and then we will have our point score update here, and from there we are going to send that point score value inside our widget blueprint. So go there, graph, custom event, update UI point score. So similarly, again, create an input point score integer, and we know that we made that text a variable. So click here, go back to graph, and we have this variable here. Drag it here and use a node sex text, that one. And now simply attach that to here. So drop it down. You'll see I use grouping here. First I'm going to show you with that, and after that I'm going to remove it. So our character is overlapping. So first of all, we created the widget. Our overlapping, we are calling event score update from BP floor and sending data to game mode, and from there we are going to send data inside our widget blueprint. Now here is a problem. So in order to send data from game mode to widget blueprint, we should have the reference of widget blueprint inside our game mode. So right now we don't have any reference here, but we have a reference here. So on the event begin play, we created widget, that one. We took the reference here and we add that to viewport. Now we have a reference here in our third person character. So we are going to send that reference inside the game mode. So for that, let's create another event. Update widget UI reference. Okay, now add an input and widget reference, and select and search for WP endless runner here. Now, and from there promote to variable and call it widget reference. So we can call it WP endless runner reference. So now we are going to call that event from our third person character. For that, cast to game mode, and that one is BPGM endless runner, that one. From there, get game mode, call that event, that one. Event update widget UI reference, and here we are going to give that reference. We have that here. So now when game will start, our character will spawn. We will create the widget and show it on our screen, and after that we are sending that reference inside the game mode. So whenever we get a score update from BP floor inside our game mode, we can send that point score to our WB in listener. So we have that, simply drag here. And now if you remember, we created update UI point score event here inside the widget blueprint. Simply now call here. What was the name? Event update UI. Okay. Event update UI. So here is event call function. And now so I want to give you a quick recap again. Inside the third person character, we created our widget blueprint, add to the viewport, and sending that reference of widget blueprint to game mode. Okay, we are done here. So let's go back to BP floor. On the BP floor, our character is running. When it overlaps with that collision box, this event begin overlap event will fire up, and it will cast to game mode. It will spawn next tile, and after that it will send score update to game mode. And now we are going to connect that. So after doing that process, after spawning next tile and after sending score update to game mode, we are going to delete our current tile. So if we double click here, we are going to here. So we are going from there to there and from there to there. Inside the game mode, we called that event from BP floor, and here our score is adding. And after getting a reference from the third person character, we were able to send that point score to our widget blueprint. So that was the whole flow. So now we are using it using group. Let's take a look. So now our score is updating fine. So as we are moving, our score is updating every time we are overlapping with the collision box. So I want to show you what is the meaning of that use grouping. So in the BP floor, if I increase the size to like 10,000. So if you go back here and play it, you will notice a grouping here. So you notice that is a comma here. So it's a grouping here. So now if I go there and uncheck it and go back here, now there is no grouping here. So it's up to you how you want it. Let's reset that score back to 10 and keep it as unchecked, and let's play it again. So everything is working fine. So you can get project files on my Patreon, and in the next tutorial we're going to work on coin pickup. And till next video, thank you for watching, and till next video, Allah Hafiz.